Hello, I'm Dan. I designed PolyHero Dice with my brother Greg. We've been doing it for about a year now, and just wanted to take you through some of the steps that we've taken ahead of the campaign, some of the rapid prototyping, show you some of the production samples and how the dice roll, and also give you a bit of an idea about what's left to do after the campaign. The first thing we did after completing the design process was to get some rapid prototypes printed. So these are 3D printed models. We made an estimate on the size based on the measurements of regular polyhedral dice, and it turned out once we had them in hand, we realised that we needed to upsize them a fair bit more, just because the different dimensions just gave a different feel than we expected. So then we got some larger dice 3D printed, and we're happier with the size of these. So we did a lot more rolling and a lot more testing, and making sure that the dice settled down properly. And we're happy with the way they rolled. One thing we did at this stage is we hollowed out the visor a little bit to get the helmet balance. Had some questions about the D20 and the way it rolls. I actually flip it like a coin, and I find that's a kind of a comfortable way to roll it, and it creates a really randomised effect. The ridges around the outside and just the angle of the dice seem to create a lot of variation in the way that it bounces around and rolls. So it's not really a rolling sort of action, but it is a cool sort of random way to get a result, and it's sort of fun to see it bounce around. Even just dropping it directly can sort of get some cool interactions and ways that it bounces about and comes to rest. And so we read it based on the number that's on the table, but you could read it based on the number that's at the top as well. So next we had a production mold made. We did that ahead of the campaign because we wanted to be confident that we'd be able to produce the dice in a mass production type process. And all 5 of these designs were able to fit onto the one mold, which was good. The shield and the helmet, they will need to be created after the campaign, and that's partly what we need the funds to be able to do. So if the campaign's a success, there are a couple more things that we're going to continue to work on ahead of going into full production on the dice, to make sure that the quality is at the level we want. The first thing we're looking at is the finish of the dice. And this is more of an aesthetic thing really than a quality thing, but at the moment they have more of a satin finish, and we're working with the manufacturer to polish the molds and get that up to more of a semi-gloss finish. So we're waiting samples on that at the moment, and that's something that's in process and will continue if the campaign's a success. The other thing we're considering doing, and this is more if the campaign does really well, is to upsize the dice by 25 or maybe 50% and make them heftier. And what inspired this was during the sampling process. The first batch of samples we received, there was a mix-up with the dimensions, and we actually received these gigantic, earth-shaking versions of the dice, and they're really large and really cool. And we just feeling them in hand, it gave us a real feel for, this with a bit of a chunkier feel, that could take the cool designs and make them even more impressive on a scale level or whatever. So we're happy with the regular size, but if we do overfund, then I think adding another 25% could be really cool and impressive. We wouldn't go, I don't think, this large. I think this is like 200% maybe, but 125 or 150, I think, and I think it could make them even more impressive.